Welcome to the Double R Show, the podcast that features everything about North Lincoln County. The Double R Show, directed and produced by Paul Robertson and hosted by the voice of Lincoln City, Roger Robertson.
And welcome to the Double R Show. I have an opportunity today to talk to Dr. Leslie Ogden from Samaritan North Lincoln Hospital and Pacific Communities Hospital. Georgia Roloff is going to be in talking about the League of Women Voters. And I'm going to introduce and interview son Paul.
Yes, we are, right? We're going to interview myself, I guess, talk about an upcoming event we have tonight if you're hearing this show. So tune in and we'll get to that just after these messages.
Hi, I'm Tammy Viles with WaFd Bank in Lincoln City. We take care of all your banking needs, including business lending, lines of credit, and checking accounts that work as hard as you do. We're also proud to be an SBA preferred lender. When you're ready to grow, we're right here with you. WaFd Bank, built for business.
Member FDIC, loan subject to credit approval.
Northwest Septic Service is your one-stop shop for all your septic needs.
Northwest Septic Service offers pumping, maintenance, repair, and inspections with one call, 541-994-6977.
Buying or selling a home? Northwest Septic Service can inspect your sewer line or an entire septic system.
Old or failing septic system? Northwest Septic Service can rejuvenate most drain fields, saving you thousands of dollars. 541-994-6977.
Serving Lincoln, Tillamook, and Yamhill counties, Northwest Septic Service.
Home-style cooking in a hometown atmosphere. Hi, I'm Adina from Zeller's Restaurant in Rose Lodge in Lincoln City. Join us daily for good fun and great food. You can even kick up your heels at Zeller's.
Welcome back to the Double R Show. With us is Georgia Roloff, and Georgia is helping orchestrate a special event here in Lincoln County. On April the 28th, from 6 until 8, you'll have an opportunity to see and hear from all of the potential candidates for Lincoln County Commissioner. Georgia, thanks for being here.
My pleasure, Roger.
That is a handful of people that are going to be questioned about the county commission.
Yeah, there are 3 positions that are open, and there are 11 candidates who are vying for those 3 positions. One of the positions is 2 candidates, one is 4, and the other one is 5.
Before we get into talking about the candidates, League of Women Voters of Lincoln County is really what? What's the best way to describe the organization?
Best way to describe it is to say we are a nonpartisan organization, neither support or oppose either political candidates or parties for an elective office. Our forums are held in a neutral location, and the candidates running for nonpartisan positions, non-party affiliation, are shared.
Coming up on Tuesday, next Tuesday, the 28th, 6 to 8, you've got all of the candidates for county commission going to be there?
They will be via Zoom. They
Okay.
will each tune in by their own Zoom connection to the community college, which has very generously offered their help for us.
So I'll be able to sit in my own living room and see the debate, or it's not a debate, though.
It is not a debate. It's a forum, which means we ask the candidates questions, and we ask each candidate the same questions so that you can compare apples to apples.
Do they know what the questions are going to be?
They will not.
Good.
The point is to see how well they think on their feet.
Interesting. So we've got all of these candidates. Have you got a list of the candidates
I
going to
do.
be on?
I do.
Let's hear about
For
that.
position 1, which is the one currently held by Casey Miller, we have Casey Miller, we have Sherry Brubaker, we have Drew Earls, Carter McEntee, Nicole Moody, and Kathy Rigby. Then position 2 is the one that was held by the late Claire Hall, and people who are vying for that one are Marcy Baker, Kristen Don, Joe Steer, and Eddie Townsend.
Mm-hmm.
And the third one, which is currently held by Walter Chuck, is being contested by Walter Chuck and Curtis Landers.
Interesting list of candidates.
It's a little frightening because there's so many. In the past, we have not had to deal, number one, with so many candidates or so many positions being available at the same time.
All at one time. Yeah, all at one time.
I don't believe we've ever had all three positions up at the same time.
Is there ever been any given thought to changing the way the format, stretching it, making 5 or 7 commissioners and gone to almost like a city council type format?
That's something I have personally thought about, but I have no idea. There are plenty of counties in the state where there are 5 commissioners for the county commissioners, and we only have 3. And there's a debate whether that might be changed for the better, but I don't know any answers to it.
Going back to the format of way this is all going to be done, Oregon Coast Community College and Dave Price are kind of helping put that and orchestrate that.
They are making it possible. It is their generous technical support at the college that are making this possible. And they have made a QR code for all of our publicity, the flyers that we have, as well as people who are interested can go to our website, which is lwvlincolncountyor.org. And on the front page of our website, you will find information about the Zoom as well as the Zoom link so that people can tie in that way. And that is the preferred way. We will have listening rooms both at the Lincoln City campus and the Newport campus. But we encourage everybody to tune in by Zoom because you're going to be able to see and hear everything that happens.
And who will be the moderator?
Moderator will be Gene Cowan.
Okay, former county commissioner.
Absolutely, and one of our very proud members of the League of Women Voters. And she has handled our forums in the past and is highly competent. No one else could do it better. I know that much.
I would totally agree. She is very, very well read and in a very strong voice.
Yes, and she knows how to ask the questions that have been selected by a 3-panel group of League of Women Voters to create the 3 questions that will be asked of the candidates. They'll be given an opportunity at the beginning to have a 30-second introduction for themselves, and then they will each be asked the first question, and all of them will answer that one question, and then from there we will go on to 2 and 3. If there's time, chat will be open, and League of Women Voter members will be monitoring the chat screen, and so they can compile the questions into a group of what questions make the most sense to ask a single question of. But there's a serious question as to whether we'll have time.
Sure. With that many candidates.
Exactly.
And each question, the candidate will have a minute, 2 minutes,
2
5
minutes.
minutes, 2
2
minutes.
minutes.
Okay.
And it will be very carefully timed because we want to give all 11 candidates the chance to answer those questions and be given a chance to express their feelings and qualifications for the position.
Again, our thanks to the League of Women Voters of Lincoln County for putting this together because it needed to be done.
Absolutely. I would encourage anyone who is looking at either the commissioners or other things that are on the ballot, they should be aware of the fact that, especially this year, primaries are equally important to the general election. And it's very important that we get everybody out to vote. And remember, your drop box is your safest way to make sure your ballot will be counted because you know they pick them up there. As we get closer to Election Day, they get picked up on the hour.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Georgia, thanks for being here. And again, it's on Tuesday, 6 to 8 p.m. on Zoom. And use the QR code to get into the program, correct?
Absolutely. And the QR code is available on flyers as well as our website. You can go to the Oregon Coast Community College website, and they will give you that information as well.
Books and puzzles have one thing in common. Bob's Beach Books in the Ocean Lake area of Lincoln City. Books for every interest, books by authors from around the world and across the street. Visit Bob's Beach Books so you can say, I have read a good book lately.
If you're looking for great early garden fresh produce, it's Kenny's IGA in the Bay Area of Lincoln City. 4 generations of Morgans caring for your every grocery need. All of your favorite beverages, a full deli, meat, produce, and of course, groceries. Dr. Leslie Ogden is with us next on the Double R Show. She is the CEO of Pacific Communities Hospital in Newport and Samaritan North Lincoln Hospital here in Lincoln City. Welcome back.
Thank you.
You have got some good news when it comes to something that's very bad, and that's infections.
Infections, exactly. We track hospital-acquired infections rapidly to make sure that we are doing everything we can to prevent them. And I have some wonderful news because we saw a marked decrease in our hospital-acquired infections in both of our coastal hospitals.
That's good
over
news.
The 2025 year. It is excellent news.
What caused that?
Well, I think a couple of things. Number one, we were cited, particularly at Samaritan North Lincoln, but also PCH has been doing a lot of work on the cleanliness of the whole place. But at North Lincoln in particular, we were one of 3 hospitals in the state that won a CMS 5-star award for cleanliness of the hospital.
That's huge.
This is huge. And you can tell by the fact that only 3 hospitals across the entire state were cited for this level of cleanliness, that working on that, having that level of cleanliness, having, those folks that know how to, what we'll call terminally clean something down to just the absence of microbes, really does affect not having infections in your hospital. And these are everything from surgical site infections to catheter-associated urinary tract infections to the catheter bloodlines that we put in for vein access, not having any associated types of infections with those, to even pressure injuries. I know it's not an infection, but we track it, right? Because it's something we have to pay super close attention to, making sure that people are turned and they're getting the attention they need. And in all of these categories, all across all of those possible infections at both of our coastal hospitals, we had 1 surgical site infection. One in Newport, in our Newport hospital. That is it. That is the level that we have gotten to with our care. But it is purposeful.
Is that because the hospitals are so new?
Certainly that makes it easier to clean them. Okay. Absolutely. But it is becoming rigorous with how we treat our patients, how we test, and how we clean. It's a combination of all of those things. And so, for example, when you get a urinary catheter placed, it's typically because you aren't able to urinate on your own, or we need to keep you in bed, and we need to, collect that and track that. But the moment you don't need that catheter to urinate, that needs to come out, because every moment it stays in beyond your needing it is the opportunity for you to get an infection related to it.
And that has been eliminated.
And that has been watched like crazy. We used to we didn't know, right? It's not that we were doing things so wrong. It's just that over time, you understand what causes the infections better, where your risks are, and how you can decrease those risks. And one of those ways is to ask ourselves each and every day, if someone has a catheter, do you really need it? Do you really need it? And if the answer is no, then that thing needs to come out. Exactly. And it has to do with having exquisite cleanliness when we put these things in. So when we put in a catheter, we have to have it be as sterile a process as possible.
What kind of training goes into something like that, Dr. Ogden?
A lot of training. Absolutely a lot. Ongoing, absolutely. And so there's only certain people who can put in catheters, and those are people who have been trained to the nth degree, and especially with our central lines, those catheters that go in the blood vessels, those can typically only be put in by the highest trained folks like physicians and CRNAs and folks like that.
One of the things that we talked about before we went on the air is the fact that you replaced all of the floors at Pacific Communities Hospital in Newport.
Correct.
What did that do?
Correct. What that did was we actually had about 80% of the floors, even in that brand new hospital, believe it or not, failed on us. And it was because of how it was applied. Almost every part of the application process, everything from readying the floor to the type of adhesive that was applied to how it was applied, it was all, there were just errors everywhere. So we had a lot of failures of our floors. Well, any crack or bubble or imperfection in a floor is an opportunity for the floor to not be able to be cleaned as well as we'd like. And so it's opportunity for bacteria, viruses, everything else to be there. So it was imperative that we replace all of that, and we did. It took us 1.5 years in a working hospital to get all of that replaced. But now we have created a scenario in which we can much more easily be assured of the highest level of cleanliness we can get to.
Dr. Leslie Ogden, Samaritan North Lincoln Hospital, Pacific Communities Hospital, and 0 is a very good number when it comes to infections.
It is.
I'm Josh Zantello with Zantello Law Group, and we are fortunate to have a number of attorneys in our office that specialize in a variety of law fields. Call our office and set up a free consultation. With our field of experts, you're never alone.
Wouldn't it be great to have all your insurance needs handled by one agency? This is Charlotte Lado with Farmers Insurance and the Insurance Store. Visit our office next to the Wildflower Grill in Lincoln City. Let us be your one-stop for your personal, commercial, health, and Medicare insurance needs.
And welcome back to the Double R Show. At the onslaught of the program, we did make mention we're going to interview Paul Robertson. And Paul has a title with the Biosphere is what?
Yeah, I'm the staff scientist and project and communications manager for the Cascade Head Biosphere Collaborative, a role that I've kind of had since about 2019.
So he is right now fresh off the beaches of Lincoln City from out there teaching a class in?
Yeah, so just earlier in the week, happened to just overlap with a couple other projects. We had a mussel harvesting class and a clamming class that we did with the Oregon Coast Community College. So it was a 2-part series on harvesting your own food right in the biosphere region.
Now, this isn't the first time you've taught this class.
No, it's only the second time, though, that we've done the clamming with the mussels. Dave Price helped me out on both occasions, and so most of the time it's just a mussel harvesting class. But yeah, we incorporated the clams that you can get, the purple varnish clam out of Sluts Bay, and then mussels that we can get here locally in and around Lincoln City.
Now, you actually cooked them on the beach as well, correct?
I did, yeah. Actually, we had a really nice little meal there the second day. So, yeah, it was pretty fun. Got rained on like anything, but we had a nice free meal effectively on the beach.
I like the steamers. I like the clams. The mussels, not so much.
Mussels are brilliant. I love them. Yeah, I really do like them. In fact, most of the time we just barbecue them now. It's just a great way to eat them.
So will you be teaching this class again down the road through the community college?
Yeah, most likely. Typically do at least once a year. Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about Arts and Science on Tap. Referring to, this is going to be down in Taft at the brew pub down there.
Yeah, the Pelican Brew Pub. Again, it is tonight. If you're listening to the podcast on Thursday, starts at 6 o'clock. And this is a series that we do. We do these natural arts and sciences on tap kind of speaker series. And this one in particular, we're kind of focusing on work that the Cascade Head Biosphere Collaborative is doing in partnership with the U.S. Forest Service, the Oregon Coast Aquarium, the Nature Conservancy, Oregon State University, and Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife.
So it is a rather intensive program. It's going to be on tap tonight.
Indeed, yeah. So we have, I think there's going to be 4 of us speaking, presenting basically our little window into this climate research that we're doing. So we have folks going to be talking about the uplands. We're talking about the estuary research, and then out the near shore and the ocean itself.
And it is critically important that this information gets out, because all too many people do not understand what the biosphere is all about.
Well, yeah. I mean, the biosphere is, of course, the whole planet. There's a lot of misconception. Okay, what's the biosphere? Well, the biosphere is the whole planet. Our little niche or little portion of it we call the Cascade Head Biosphere Region. Okay. There are about 700 of these regions
around the world.
Across the biosphere. Yeah, around the world. And so Cascade Head just being the only one here in Oregon, we're lucky enough to have this kind of consortium of researchers that we focus our efforts to study the climate.
So the funding for this, Paul, for all of this work that goes into the biosphere comes from where?
Well, it's a number of sources. So, we have partnerships, like I said, with Oregon State University,
okay.
Right? So they're participating through their, organization, through, their own means. Same with the U.S. Forest Service, same with the Oregon Coast Aquarium, same with the Nature Conservancy and ODF&W. We get some funding specifically to help in our efforts, the collaborative side of it, through an organization called the Lazar Foundation, has been one of our bigger sponsors, as well as the Royal Little Family Foundation. Those have been our kind of family foundation or private foundation supporters of our work in the climate realm.
One of the more interesting things I think that you've got going on right now is tracking what is happening with bats.
Yeah.
That just fascinates me.
This is a really exciting, interesting program. We have, thanks to the U.S. Forest Service, 10 bat monitors around the biosphere region. So up near Cascade Head, out near behind the lake, all sorts of spots in and around the biosphere region. And what these are they're actually ultrasonic recorders. And they record, they wake up at about 7 o'clock at night and start listening. And they're listening for those hypersonic kind of sounds that the bats make. Right, and it's an indication, obviously, of their presence. And what we can actually do with the software is actually determine down to the species of who's present. And the reason we're studying these is because bats should be kind of hibernating. They call it a torpor, I think it is the term. And they should be asleep or resting and not being active, say, during the winter time. And if they are active during the winter time, it's might be because it's getting too warm.
Too warm out.
And they think it's time for breakfast. And it's not. So are things shifting with the patterns of the bats? Which ones are present? Are there different ones coming in that were here or weren't here and the like? And so that's just one of our many, many studies that we have.
Now, you work a lot with the children of the community as well.
Yeah, so the Cascade Head Biosphere Collaborative has basically 3 pillars that we work under. We do the climate one, we do education, and then the third one is community outreach. So tonight's event is kind of a twofer. It's a community outreach event about the climate research.
Okay. And with the children, you have a lot of school children you take out into the biosphere.
Biosphere region.
Region.
I'm going to correct you because this is what we're trying to inform is that we internally we mess up this too. So
the Oregon Biosphere region.
Yeah, Oregon's only biosphere region. Yeah, the UNESCO biosphere region. Yeah, absolutely. And so we bring a lot of young learners out to different spots, West Wind and out to Knight Park and different places where we teach them about nature and different aspects of nature and the like. So yeah.
For those that would like more information about the biosphere region,
thank you.
I should do what?
Yeah, go to cascadehead.org. You can look up that online, obviously, and just kind of, check out the website, reach out to us through the website as well. But yeah, we have a lot of resources there. If you're interested in the climate portion, you can get to another webpage through our website, but the number 4 castproject.org. So the number 4 CAST project.org. That's where you're going to find everything about all of these research programs that we're going to be talking about tonight there at Pelican.
Retooled, refueled, and ready to rock. Queensryche. Saturday, April 25th at Chinook Winds Casino Resort. Is there anybody listening? One night with Queensryche live. Queensryche, Saturday, April 25th. Chinook Winds Casino Resort. Get tickets now at ChinookWinds.com, Chinook Winds box office, or by phone at 1-888-MAIN-ACT. Queensryche in concert. Chinook Winds, where concerts are better at the beach.
And finally, welcome back to the Double R Show. This is the conclusion, if you will, of Community Days Week. And if you're listening to this program on Thursday, the day that the program first dropped, today we got the canned food drive right in front of Grocery Outlet. You can make your donations either to the Backpack Food Program and or the Community Food Bank here in Lincoln City. If you want to write a check, you can write a check to either one or both.
How many zeros at the end of that check should you add?
I don't think you could embarrass us and put too many zeros on it.
Okay.
As long as
there's
another
integer up front. Yeah, that's non-zero.
You can't embarrass us with too many zeros. And we are really appreciative. That'll go until 6 o'clock Thursday, the 23rd, which is the day this program drops. In front of Grocery Outlet. Be there. Help us. Help others. Critically important. Also taking place today, we got the Arts and Sciences on tap down in Pelican.
Yeah, I got to get down there now. I'm going to be one of the presenters. So we've got from 6 to 7:30 is the event. RSVP if you can still at cascadehead.org. But we're going to have a number of speakers talking about the climate research that we're doing in and around Cascade Head and Lincoln City and the watershed. So.
And that's at what time again?
6 o'clock start.
6 o'clock. Kiwanis breakfast going on at Moe's. Everybody knows about Moe's, but you didn't know that there's a Kiwanis Community Days breakfast at Moe's. It's $10 per person. And, of course, all of the funds go to buy scholarships or support the scholarship fund of the Lincoln City Kiwanis Club.
And that's Saturday morning?
That's this morning, today,
I
this
thought
Thursday.
That was on Saturday. Yeah. I better get my calendar sorted then.
No, Thursday the 23rd. Remember, I gave you the
I know I got the free tickets, but I just didn't look at the date. So
Friday the 24th, we got Arbor Day at the Community Center, and we got trivia down at the Pines put on by FPLC.
Okay, yeah, I know last year they did a trivia.
And that's the way they're putting it out this year,
Well, it was Arbor Day, and it was at the Pines.
Yes.
So very clever.
Yep.
I think Patrick might have come up with that one.
He takes
Patrick
the credit or the blame, whichever the case
may
be. On Saturday, you're right. I misspoke.
Okay.
I believe it or not.
Moe's is on Saturday.
Moe's is on Saturday. Thursday is the Kiwanis Luncheon.
Okay. Gotcha.
I misspoke, but Saturday, the 25th, is the pancake breakfast down at Moe's, then the Mudflat Golf on Siletz Bay, the Ducky Derby at the Dee River, and the Community Days Banquet at the Cultural Center.
Yeah, right. So a full pack day on Saturday. And then on Sunday, though, we do have one more event, right?
Yeah, Surf and Earth Festival at the Lincoln City Cultural Center. And again, the pancake breakfast is Saturday. Saturday.
At Moe's, yep.
Other activities coming up in and around the Lincoln City community on Monday, the 27th of April at 5 o'clock. City Council has got an executive session, and then they meet in regular open session at 6 o'clock again on the 27th. The Budget Committee meets on May 4th. The St. Peter the Fisherman Lutheran Church will have a fabric galore, book galore, clothes, dishes, lots of items on sale. This is going to be on May 1 and 2 from 9 until 3 at St. Peter the Fisherman Lutheran Church. Another event that I continually look forward to because it is fun, it's entertaining, it's educational, and it's good food, all for a great cause. It's a spaghetti dinner out at B'nai B'rith. This is put on to support the BB Camp, provide scholarships for kids to go to summer camp out at B'nai B'rith.
Yeah, that's really great.
And it's good stuff. And don't forget, the Glen Eden Beach 4th of July Parade is back this year. and you'll have an opportunity to hear more about that down the road. The parade, I love everybody loves the parade. That one in particular.
It's pretty fantastic, yeah, and there's lots of food vendors and opportunities to hang out, and Americana at its finest, as you say.
Absolutely, and I get to be the host announcer along with the one and only Heather Hatton.
Double H there. Yeah, she's kind of a mainstay there, I know, and
she really
that's
is.
home for her. That's where, Heather and I are both kind of Lincoln Beach, Glen Beach area kids, so good to hear classmates putting in the efforts there again.
All right, anything else your side of the table?
We are clear from here. Thank you.
That'll do it to the dunes. Remember to like, subscribe, share, so you, your family, and friends around the world and across the street can join us on a Double R show. Concluding with Community Days this week. Don't miss all of the activities. For Paul, I'm Double R, and Jenna, have a happy day.
You've been listening to The Double R Show. Join Roger and Paul Robertson as they explore everything about North Lincoln County. The Double R Show, produced by Always Productions and hosted by Roger Robertson. Have a story? Email contact@alwaysproductions.com or call 458-201-3039. For The Double R Show, I'm Jana Grawn.